everyone, and welcome to the Big Collector, where we talk about Barbies and other stuff. I'm Vinicius Santana, and I'm here as always with the amazing Michael. Hi, Michael. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. How are you today?
I'm absolutely fine. I'm actually really excited about what we are just about to discuss today. I think that you
Okay.
might have uh, prepared something for us. Is it right?
Uh, maybe? No.
So anyway, for our viewers to understand, we have these two kind of shows together here. In one show, we talk about the Barb news, that is the doll news, and in other show, we just chit chat about doll stuff, and
Yeah,
that is doll talk. That it's where we are today. So don't forget to try our other show where we talk about the latest news in Barb related stuff. So,
right.
Michael, do you have anything for us today?
Um, I've got a couple of things. Is one of them is kind of interesting is um what happens when I don't know about like you and your doll collector friends, but um like I have several different friends and we all collect different things. So there's no competition. Like I collect prototypes and samples. One of my friends collects only vintage talking Barbies and mod and vintage. And then another friend collects Francie. That's all, they were about was just Francie and everything. And then suddenly um they started veering in one of the other lanes. All of a sudden they started collecting talking dolls and
Oh, very
um
interesting.
yeah, very interesting. And so it's just, what do you do? I mean, there's enough dolls for everybody, and I'm not trying to be, mean or nasty, but what do you do when, somebody that you've been friends with and they only collect a certain thing and suddenly they start veering into your lane. I mean, there's nothing against collecting other things, but you know, um, that makes things really difficult. I had this friend that's only collected talking things, and they were at a doll show with this other person, and my friend picked up a doll, and it was a talking doll, and they were going to buy it, and this other friend said, um, "You don't need that, and you can't afford it anyway." And
Whoa, that's nasty.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I've had a couple of people that I've known, and once again, there's enough stuff for everybody, but they, know I collect prototypes and samples and stuff like that. And suddenly, um, come to find out, they've been collecting prototypes and samples for 10 and 15 years
And
and
not
have
telling you.
never said a word about it.
Because they
Yeah,
see you as a competition.
I guess so. But the thing is, like I had mentioned before in other shows, um, I help people and 24/7. That's why I tell people, you can message me anytime, 24/7. I will answer questions, I will help you. If it's something you're bidding on, I will not bid against you because, you want it. And I just find it kind of an interesting uh thing to happen. And I also wonder if other people have other viewers here and also with the podcast have run into that too, because that can be really a sticky situation, you know, um, especially when this person told the other person, you don't need that and you can't afford it anyway.
Oh,
And
that's really mean.
that's really bad. That's really, really bad. So
Yeah.
uh I just wonder, uh if our viewers have had problems like that where, let's say, for example, somebody only collects, mod, and the other person only collects, superstar era. We'll just use that. And then suddenly this person just all of a sudden just starts collecting, you know, mod, and the other person, I mean, that can be kind of detrimental to the friendship, I mean, anyway, that I thought was kind of an interesting
Yeah,
subject.
that's really interesting. Actually, I think that in the United States, you have these more specific types of collections. It's not easy for us collectors in Brazil, for example, to focus on prototypes or some type of niche in
Yeah,
terms of collection. Here,
yeah,
actually, I don't know how these will sound to you guys in the United States or other viewers here in Brazil, but me and my friends, we split in two groups: the adults who actually collect good dolls, and the children that takes the heads off and change for made to move bodies and make a mess of the dolls.
right, right. Yeah,
In terms of,
oh,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead. No, no, go
in
ahead.
terms of niche, um, here we are more open to other types of dolls.
Right,
Me, for example, I collect pop culture dolls, but I have been diving into repro dolls, so into the Barbie history, not the actual doll from the time. I'm happy just to have uh, reproduction.
right,
So we don't have this type of competition here in Brazil.
right, right. Um, and the thing is, I've seen some, ugly stuff happen with competition, and my thing is there's enough stuff for everybody, but like I said, I just found it
Not
really
always,
humorous,
but most of the time.
but most of the time. But like this situation that came up where this person knew that I collected prototypes and samples, and I'm fine with that. And then all of a sudden come to find out that they've been collecting prototypes and samples too for 10 years, never mentioned it. Never, mentioned it. There's a
And feels like kind of betrayal, right?
kind of a betrayal, but I mean, I don't want to sound petty. I don't want to sound, like some mean queen, you know. Um, but it just seems just a little odd, because the thing is,
Yeah.
I've always helped people, like, back in the day when I was in several different Barbie clubs, we all helped each other. We all helped each other. Um, I think that the competition has become so rampant nowadays. It's
Yeah.
kind of taken
Why
some of the
this
fun out of it.
person couldn't feel comfortable in sharing that you too are collecting samples and
Yes,
prototypes? I
right.
don't get it. Why?
Why? There was a very interesting situation years ago, and somebody wanted a outfit at an auction, and and we all knew about it, that person wanted this outfit. And so there was somebody else at the auction who also knew that that person wanted that outfit. Everybody agreed in our group, in our club, yeah, back off because this was the only outfit this person needed to complete their series of fashions. It was the only. So anyway, the auction is going on. I did not go to the auction, but I got this from like five different people. Um, and the person's bidding on it, and all of a sudden this other person starts bidding on it and wins it. Let
Oh,
me tell you, it was a real, real quiet, interesting Barbie meeting after that. Yeah. But here's where it gets really weird. Not weird, vindictive. Um, so a year later, this person that had won the outfit, their husband suddenly gets audited by the IRS.
I don't know what it means.
Oh, the Internal Revenue Service, for taxes.
Oh,
For
okay, okay.
yeah,
Taxes
yeah,
problems like
right,
Ruth
right, for
Handler.
taxes. Yeah. Um, the person that did not win the outfit worked for the IRS.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, you mean to tell me that somebody who's had a business for, I think, 30 years at that point, 25 or 30 years, who is, clean and honest and upright and everything, suddenly they get audited by the IRS.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
And
know,
and your friend that was looking for this outfit, did he manage to get it?
I think eventually they did get the outfit, but we all kind of just thought it was very interesting that suddenly the person that won the outfit at the auction, their husband's business gets audited by the IRS.
Hey, we're not telling that this auction had something to do with it. But you know, Michael, um,
Mm,
I
it
think that
did.
I may diverge from your opinion in this, but um, with my friends, I obviously, if it's not something that I really want, I'm okay in don't getting it for my friend, so my
Right,
friend can get it. But in
right.
terms of Barbies, I think that everything is valid. If you
Well,
really want something and we both are friends, we can make an agreement, of course. But
yes.
if it's something that we both
Yeah,
want, then we both should use our best effort to
right,
get it, you know?
right, right.
And
Well,
it's
like,
okay.
yeah.
I just
Well,
don't
like,
think that we should play low.
yeah. Well, like, there was something that came up on eBay, and I was bidding on it, and somebody else that I knew was bidding on it. So I contacted them and said, "Hey, I know you're bidding on this. I'm bidding on this too. I'm only planning to go to this amount of money, and let's not drive the price up more because you're willing to pay more than I am, you know." And so that person ended up getting it, because I wasn't going to drive the auction up to make them pay more for it. We were friends. Um,
Yeah,
so, you know, but competition, Lord, let me tell you, um, I will, uh, I'll tell you a funny story. I was at the Barbie convention, which is, crazy crowded, what I think there was like 800 people. I'm on the elevator and I get a phone call in the elevator, which is packed like sardines in a can. And somebody says, there is this prototype doll for sale in room such and such. And we've called this other person, someone else who I didn't actually know. And they said, whoever gets here first gets to buy it. That elevator stopped on the sixth floor. I said, coming through, coming through, coming through. I shot out of that elevator. I shot out of that
the
elevator
stairs.
and I ran up 8 flights of stairs to the 14th floor of the hotel.
Oh.
I beat the person by 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a fair game, and it's okay to play like that. Um, here in Brazil, we had this convention once. We don't have conventions anymore, and
Uh,
unfortunately, we don't have any conventions anymore. But in 2017, I believe, or 15, I don't know. There was this selling of the Tokidoki dolls, and
oh
there
yes.
was just a couple of dolls that were in for sale at the convention, and everyone just rushed to get there first and buy the dolls. But someone had brought every doll by phone just before the show. So
That's that's very interesting because there was when they did the 30th anniversary of Barbie, they had a big celebration at the Lincoln Center in New York,
in New
and they
York,
had
I heard.
a special doll in a silver dress, and what happened was you were if you were invited to this party, you were only to get one doll as a souvenir. Well, this doll dealer and their partner went and filled up the entire trunk of their car with the dolls.
Oh, for free?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
They
how
kept
about
going.
what did
They
Mattel do? How could they manage to get the dolls?
they just kept going up to the table, and the dolls, I guess, were on a table for people to just,
Oh, they
like
were not
on
numbered or
no, it was like on the honor system, and to take one, like you'd think, like at a wedding, you take one piece of cake, um, and so they filled up their trunk of their car with these dolls. It's there's shady people out there, so
yeah,
what can
okay.
I say?
And how about the division between adults and children, like we do here in Brazil? We used to say that, oh my God, just the children, just the beginner, oh, snapping the heads off, changing to made to move bodies, throwing
Yeah,
the model muse body away. How
right.
you guys feel like for this type of stuff in the US?
There's there's a big divide on that. That's really interesting. You should bring it up. There's a very big divide on that. Um, I personally think leave the doll alone. You know, if it comes that way, leave it that way. Um, I don't, and first of all, I cannot stand the model muse bodies at all. I just absolutely can't stand them.
Really?
So, no,
I love
absolutely.
the made to move. No, no, I love the model muse. Sorry.
The model muse, oh yeah, model muse. Oh, hell yeah. Um, the model muse, the belly button body, I mean, I love, but the made to move bodies, I hate with a passion. They look like they have artificial limbs to me. It looks like somebody that has
These ugly giants.
a prosthetic arm or prosthetic leg. I can't stand, but um, there was a doll. This came up, and I blocked the person because I was like, and I shouldn't. It's your doll. You should do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But, but they wanted a Ballerina Cara from 1976. Very rare doll,
Okay.
black doll, very rare doll. Um, and they paid 400 and I don't know how many dollars, $425 for the doll. They then promptly took the doll out of the box. Okay, and first of all, black dolls from that era are very hard to come by to begin with. So that's, but still, you took it out of the box. Okay, I understand that you want to relive Christmas 1976, that you pretend you got one. That's great. That's great. Um, they then oh my God, where do I start? She has a crown in her head. It's like rooted, it's like punched into her head. She has a very special hairstyle where it's parted in the middle, two strands go around, and then they go up into a ponytail. So you really shouldn't take the hair down. It's one of those hairdos that's like done a certain way because when you
It's
take the two
intricate.
strands, yeah, it's intricate. When you take the two strands down, they're like 2 inches longer than the rest of the hair because it's supposed to go around the head. Okay. So the first thing they do, they debox it. Okay. That's fine. The second, they take the crown out. Uh, okay. The third thing, they put it on a black made to move body.
Oh.
And then the fourth thing they did is they cut the hair.
Oh my God. And
And I'm like,
rooted.
No, no, not to reroute it. They didn't like it because they had these funny strands in the front. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, really? And so they cut the hair into like the same length as the rest of the hair, and put it on a model muse body, not a model muse, a made to move body. And I'm like, no, no, and the thing was, if that person would have like commented in the Barbie group, hey, I'd really like a ballerina Cara, but I want to put it on a model muse body. I had an extra Cara head that came in a collection that somebody had cut the hair all one length. I would have given them that head instead of them destroying a rare doll for
I totally
420.
get it, Michael.
You know,
And
uh,
actually, it's not for our viewers that it's not a critique at all.
no, no,
You can do whatever you want. But for me as
right,
collector, what I think is why take a valuable doll, a hair doll, and do this
right,
type of stuff.
yeah,
It's a hair doll. There is one less of this doll in the world, and I keep
right.
thinking, why you can't take a head with the same face sculpt and do with a less valuable doll?
And I
I don't
had
get it.
and I had an extra head. I actually had an extra Ballerina Cara head that had come in a whole collection of stuff I had bought, which I would have given the person the head instead of them deboxing a rare black doll and then destroying it.
But do you think that this person would be happy with only the head? Because what I get
Yes,
from certain people is that they actually like to chip the pieces off and revamp it or shuffling with other pieces. Do you think that this person would be willing to have just the head?
yes, because that doll, they then put pictures in the different Barbie groups of it dressed in like Fashion Avenue modern outfits. Um,
And all the adult collectors crying.
right, right. You know. Um, and then another doll just recently when we'll probably discuss this on the doll news show is that Museum of Modern Art Barbie that just came out
Oh, that's
with her
an
hair
exciting
off.
doll.
I love, yeah, with her hair off to the side. Um, Somebody I know bought that doll and they're going to reroute it.
Oh my god. Why don't take some Selma Faces Cup doll or Claudette
Right,
Faces Cup doll and
right, right.
make the doll you want?
Why don't you reroute? I believe I'm not 100% sure, but the styled by design doll in the pink and the orange dress, um, it was the first one in
She's
the series.
Claudette.
Is she Claudette? Okay, I wasn't sure if she was Selma or Claudette. Okay, um,
It's Claudette, but in a different skin tone.
okay, um,
It,
that face to me is similar enough to the Museum of Modern Art doll. The face is similar
yeah, yeah.
enough. And those dolls are on sale at Mattel Creations for $50 this week.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's also some convention doll. I don't know if you remember when Carlisle did these power pair dolls,
Yes.
and one of the dolls was Claudette with the same skin tone. So
Yes.
you can take this doll, the MoMA doll. It's a piece of art. You shouldn't
It's
change
art.
a bit.
Yeah. I mean that hair is done that way to mimic the painting, you know.
Yeah,
So it just,
the waves.
the waves and everything, but it's really funny. There's a big divide. I would say it's maybe about 50-50 about people um popping the heads off and putting their dolls on made to move bodies versus people just leave it, just leave it the way it is, you know.
Yeah, but Michael, I think that I may be a kind of uh, ignorant. Is that a word?
Ignorant?
Ignorant? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
about some certain things because I don't think that most of collectors can upgrade a doll like that. Certain dolls are so perfect and so well
Yes.
made and so
Yes.
thought after that are
Right.
not. There's no way a collector without the resources Mattel have
Right.
can upgrade the doll. Like for
Oh,
example, the Mark Ryden dolls. How can someone upgrade a doll like the pink? Uh, I don't remember the name of the doll. Pink ball. I don't remember the pink one from Mark
but
Ryden.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, with the pink hair and everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
How can someone upgrade a doll like that? So I don't know why you just choose to revamp this type of doll.
right. Well, like you and I had a conversation about the woman that decided to give her Madame du Barbie a boil perm because she didn't like the hairstyle on it.
Yeah. And
You
how
know, and I'm
someone
like,
can
what?
upgrade the
How do you?
Madame Du?
How do you? You know, how can you improve on that? I mean, what are you going to do that's going to make that doll better? What,
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm telling.
you don't have the resources, you don't have the now, granted, there are some crazy talented doll artists out there that can make things look amazing. Um, one of the doll artists that I know um is Matt Sutton, who redoes Silkstones in these just completely amazing ball gowns. Those dolls are fantastic. I mean, his dolls rival the Mattel Silkstone
Yeah, yeah,
dolls, you know.
of course, of course.
You know, but you know, a lot of
But
people don't
even
have those
these,
resources.
even these amazing doll artists that we have all over the world, there are certain dolls that you can't take a Momo doll, a Van Gogh doll like
Right.
we had, and make a better Van Gogh doll. Certain dolls,
Yeah.
like for example, Marie Antoinette doll. How can you make a better Marie Antoinette? There is no way. You don't have the resources to do such a thing.
Right.
You
Right.
can make great dolls, but certain dolls you can't upgrade. I'm sorry.
No. 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 So it's
And
crazy.
let's dive into sharky waters now.
Uh-oh.
Do you think that we have two classes of collectors separated, or do you think that these are just two types of collectors that are out there?
I think, and this is very sharky water. This is very,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
um,
I can feel
I
blood.
think, yeah, yeah, there's blood. And people may come for me, when I say this. Yes, there is two types of people. Um, I have, for example, my all of my Barbie books. I started in 1981. I have all of my Barbie books. I have studied those books. I have broken the spines on those books. I had to get a new Barbie encyclopedia, which I got for Christmas in 1988. I got a brand new one because I had basically my other one fell apart. Um, I think there's a lot of people that do not educate themselves and do not want to educate themselves. You don't have to know everything about Barbie, but you should at least know the basics. And I think that you have a lot of people who are serious, like you and me. And then you have a lot of people that are like, oh, she's pretty, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And
Sounds
and that irritates.
disrespectful, right? With
I
some
think it's disrespectful.
with the
This
history.
was this was a couple years ago in one of the actually it was in the Barbie collector fan club, and they announced that they were going to do it was the first one, the Silkstone Francie. And somebody said, "Who's Francie?" And I'm like, "Really?"
Oh my god!
Like,
Oh
you
my
know,
god!
oh wait,
My
it's
heart
going to get,
just
oh wait.
stopped.
Yeah, you might need to take some aspirin for the next part of it. Um, and
Okay.
so people are like, yeah, Francie is Barbie's cousin. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know who. And then, oh my God, somebody said, you know what they should do? And I was like, oh no, what is this person? And they said, they need to do a Silkstone Tootie and Todd.
Oh, oh my god!
I'm like,
Oh
why?
my god!
I'm like, we don't need a Silkstone Tootie and Todd. Like, no. you
Oh,
know, um,
my heart's
but there's a,
pounding.
yeah, yeah. But there's a lot of these people, and I know we all collect different, but these people that do not educate themselves or want to educate themselves, um, there was somebody that was one of my followers, and I canceled them out because they were asking some questions, and some of it was like really legitimate questions about certain things, outfit pieces or whatever. And so I said to them, do you have any Barbie books? And I had bought a collection, and in the
Oh, I forgot to
collection,
send the books I told you about.
oh no,
You
that's
can
that's
you can go.
oh that's and so I had bought a collection, and it had Barbie books in it, but I already had all the books, so I didn't need them. And so I was gonna offer them to this person, and they said, "Oh, I don't have any Barbie books." I said, "Well, I have some books." And
I
I
love
said, "Are
Barbie
you
books.
interested in them?" And they said, "No. Why should I buy or read any books when I have all of you to give me the
Oh,
information I need?"
oh
Are
my
you
God,
kidding me?
that's disgusting.
Are
That's
you kidding
disgusting.
me? Yeah. I'm just like, no, you know. So,
That's not
um,
the type of friends I want. Uh, but for our viewers not to be, there's, in my opinion, there are two types of collectors: the one who loves Barbies and the ones who love dolls, and that's okay. You can be in
yes,
whatever category you want. But if you
yes,
really are a Barbie collector, you should educate yourself and have knowledge and understanding. Because if you don't know something, if you don't know the history behind it, you don't value enough. You don't have the
yeah,
respect you should have for the things you have. That's
I
not
agree.
just, if you collect just plastic and fabric, it's okay. But if you
Hmm.
collect history, if you collect Barbies, you should know, you should respect your collection,
Hmm.
you know?
Right. And respect the the groundbreaking that Barbie was, a
Achievement.
groundbreaking not only in the toy industry, but groundbreaking as a role model for women. Women
Yeah.
were they had not a lot of career choices, and Barbie came along. Barbie could be a nurse, Barbie could be a singer, Barbie was an astronaut, Barbie was a stewardess, Barbie was, all of these things. And then, of course, in 1973, Barbie became a doctor, with her
Yeah.
doctorate. The history and the groundbreaking things that Barbie has done, and people just don't know or care. And
Yeah.
that
The
irritates me.
movie, the movie talks about that. Since the beginning of times, there have been dolls. And it's okay to love dolls for what they are, just
Right,
people in miniature. But after Barbie, there's dolls and there's Barbie. It
right.
changed everything.
It changed everything. And the thing is, like, I collect Barbie, but I know a lot about other dolls too, but my focus is Barbie. But I know about, Madame Alexander dolls. I know about Ideal dolls. I know about, but if you're gonna s- pick something that you're gonna, specify in, learn what you're collecting, you know, um, learn the subject. It's just crazy, that people don't want to take the time. And the thing is, I don't care if you collect postage stamps or barbed wire or, movie magazines. Know what you're collecting. I told you
Yeah,
about that
it's
person
it's
that,
not plastic, it's not paper, it's not
right,
fabric. If you collect
right,
something, it's because you see some value other
yeah,
than just the materials.
yeah, and um, I told you about that person, um, and they probably will see this video, so I'm going to be a little bit vague on this, but um, they bought these two dolls that turned out to be completely fake because they did not bother to do the research on the dolls, and took the person who was selling it at their word, and got taken for somewhere between 17 and $21,000 because
Oh
they didn't
no,
do their homework.
they
you know I do my homework. Oh my God. And I'm sure you do too. I
yeah,
put in
of
the effort,
course.
put in the work, so
I read a lot of Barbie stuff. I try to make my homework. I actually in Brazil. in my Brazilian version of this channel, I have the show called Behind the History, where I take something from Barbie and I try to educate my viewers. You know,
Uh-huh.
I already talked about, for example, the connection between Billy Boy and Barbie and Andy Warhol and Barbie, and I talked about the black magic outfit and from where it came, and I try to educate, but you can't educate everyone. You For people to get educated, they must want to learn. They must want to know about the thing. So,
Yeah.
and Michael, I want to ask you something. You already told me about the niche you collectors in the US have,
Yeah.
and I believe they are more specific than what we have here in Brazil. Here in
Yes.
Brazil, we are just like, oh, I collect black Barbies, or there's this collector, for example, that only collects scans, but there's a
Yeah.
bunch of dolls that are open. But do you, at any time, you think about changing the subject in your collection?
Well, I've actually changed the subjects in my collection over from when I first started to where I'm at now. Um, so when I first started collecting, I collected everything. And I mean everything. I had dolls, I had
Like most of
clothes.
collectors.
Right, and I do think there are a lot of collectors out there that collect everything with, whether it's a pillow with Barbie on it or,
No, 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 no.
vintage and
I'm
modern and
telling, I'm talking about most collectors starts collecting everything before they find a way for what they
right,
like most.
right. But I do think there's a lot of people that still collect, just everything. But like for me, I started collecting Barbie. Uh, I had, everybody. I had houses, I had clothes, I had licensed products, I had everything like that. And then I decided to weed that out and just basically focus on the dolls. So I got rid of all the licensed products and everything like that. So then I'm doing okay. I had 500 Barbies by the time I was 16 years old.
That's a whole bunch of dolls. I think
Yeah,
that
a whole bunch of
I don't
dolls. Yeah.
count my dolls, but I think you had more dolls at 16
Yeah.
than I have now.
So and so then I decided, and when I put my mind to something, I do it. And so I decided that I wanted to collect one of every friend and family member of Barbies made around the world. And I got a piece of graph paper and I put every single doll's name on that graph paper. There was 112 at the time. There was 112 friends and family members that had been made around the world. Everything from Vicky in Brazil to Barbie school teacher that you could buy in Japan. In a year, there was 112. I had 109 of the 112 in
Oh
a
my God!
year.
But you have the resources to that
But
because that's really
I had
expensive.
um some were, some weren't. I did a lot of trading and stuff like that. Um, but I set my mind. Well, maybe I we won't talk about that. Um, but I put my mind to it. And then I think I told you, I was, and I was collecting stuff. I still had vintage and I had modern stuff and everything. And I decided, I had gotten a sample doll for Christmas from my father, and it was a very basic doll. And I had to sell it to make money to go to the prom. And so I
Yeah,
sold
you
it
told me
and
about that.
I regretted it. And so later on, um, a friend of mine worked at Mattel, and I was like, I'd really like a sample of prototype doll. And so I got three. And so I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, three. And I was like, I think I might like to collect this because it was something different. It was something, you know, um, I had been collecting at that point for, I don't know what, 14 years, I guess, or so. And no, I had been collecting for right about 10 years, 10 or 11 years. And so I had a couple, and so I just kind of thought about it a little bit. And so fast forward a couple years, and I really made the decision in 94 to just focus on that. And so I went from 3 to 30 to 300 to now my current of 3,000.
But don't you feel like the desire to change again after that, to start, or not even change, but I don't know, make another niche in your collection? Like, for
Well,
example, I love pop culture, but I'm starting uh,
right,
my repro collection.
right. Well, so I have prototypes and samples. Okay, so that's,
Okay.
picture that as a globe. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
then
get it.
inside of that globe, I then have several different niches inside that globe. One of them is I have a whole collection of black dolls with blonde hair. I have a
Oh,
whole,
that's a very specific
yeah,
type of collection.
I right. And then I have another niche in there too, which is pink haired dolls. I love pink. And so I have a whole niche area of pink haired dolls. You know,
Okay.
so I do have my whole collection, but then I have a couple little niche pockets, you know, in there, So um, you know, I guess
Okay.
I don't
So
know. Will I
you got,
change?
but
You know,
don't you feel tempted to buy modern dolls when there are these teams that um, take your eyes? Like, for example, didn't you feel tempted to get the Momo doll?
I did feel tempted to get the MoMA doll. Um, but I'll tell you a really funny story. Um, in California, there's Toy Fair, which is in New York every February,
Yeah,
and then in
like
March,
where Barbie was first
right, right.
introduced it.
And so in March of every year, there's a toy fair in Southern California.
Oh, I didn't
And
know that.
so, there's a toy fair in Southern California. So one year, 1998, um, we go to Toy Fair, and I worked for a doll shop and teddy bear shop, so we got to go to Toy Fair, and there was a whole bunch of fabulous dolls, which I loved, and it was very tempting. And I was like, oh my God, when that comes out, oh, it's going to be really hard, to not pass that up. Fast forward a year later, and of the 16 dolls that were on display there at Toy Fair, I ended up with 12 of them.
Oh, with the prototypes.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
through
but
various
I
sources.
believe you are in a
And so I was
very
like, hey, that I was like, that worked out great. I didn't even have to buy a regular version of it. I was able to get these. So, yeah,
But don't you agree with me that you are in a very um, privileged? Is there a word?
privileged. Okay.
Yeah, you are in a very privileged position, living where you live and having the friendship you have. You started at a time that it was less competitive in terms of
Yes.
exhibitions in
Yes.
collect.
I
So
started.
you were
Yes.
a very lucky guy, like we stated a couple shows before.
Crazy lucky, and I never ever take it for granted. I never take it for granted that I am so privileged and so lucky, and I got in so early where, and I told you before, where my competition in the beginning was, five or six people, where now my competition is somewhere between 55 to 75 people, you know. Um, there's something currently on eBay actually that I put a bid in on, and I went and looked at it last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, and 33 other people had marked it that they were watching it, you know. So cross your fingers, I get it. So Thank you. But it is a niche, and and there are times too where I have not gotten anything. I believe I told you before, for 10 months, no Barbies, nothing at
Oh my
all.
God. I,
10
I, I can't.
you
I just can't.
Yeah. So sometimes it's like you see, all your friends getting stuff. You're like, oh, like, how come I don't have anything? Um, and then of course a windfall uh, happens, and then you're like, oh my God, it's either feast or famine. That's the way I always.
Um, but I don't see how I could spend most of the year without any new doll. Between, I believe it was 2012 and 2000, no, 2014 and 2018, I passed through a very difficult moment for things that don't matter now, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yes.
and it was a very difficult time for me,
Right.
and I didn't brought any dolls, and that's a time that I really regret not getting dolls because there are actually four dolls that I believe that maybe don't come to my collection, and that the Karl Lagerfeld doll and the three Yves Saint Laurent dolls. That was the four dolls that I lost that I regret the most.
Right.
Don't you have the fear that someday you will regret not getting the regular dolls and just focusing on prototypes?
I don't know. I don't. Um, it is. It's a hard thing. I mean, it really is hard to make a decision where you have to um set limits on yourself, because like I'm sure you only have so much room, you know. Um Luckily I
When you, when I told Junior, my husband, that if the door closes and the Barbie's inside, then it's a fit.
right. Right. Yeah, I mean I tell Howard too, we it was really funny because he said when we first got together, he knew I told him about Barbie collecting and everything. And so he said, and I said, I'll have a room, and we ended up kind of a funny story, but um my lease expired before his lease. We lived in the same apartment complex. That's how we met. And we met in the laundry room. And so anyway, I moved in with him, and then we were a couple at that point. And so when we decided to move when his lease was up, we got a two-bedroom apartment, and I said, I need a Barbie room. I'm just letting you know. I need a Barbie room. And he's like, okay, that's fine, and um keep him in there and none in the living room. I said, okay, that's fine. What was really funny, a few years later, we got a display case, and he has some things from his parents and some other things that he's bought, crystal pieces and stuff. And he's like, I think that one Barbie would look real good in here. And I'm like, well, you said no Barbies in the living room.
Mm.
He's like, well, okay, as long as it's a blonde, because he thinks Barbie should always be blonde. And then Silkstones. He's a big Silkstone fan. And so anyway, we have several, in the living room, but I try to, keep it all confined, into the room. So sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. So
So yeah, I get it what you say, and it's something that we all collectors work on because we don't have unlimited space. But
right.
uh, about um about the regret, I didn't get your answer about. Don't you feel afraid of regretting not buying certain dolls in the future? For example,
No.
did you didn't get the Momo doll this year? Don't
Right.
you think that in a couple years you'll be reading some Van Gogh book like I do with most of my
Right.
dolls? I keep reading about the people they represent, and don't you
Right.
think that someday you regret not getting the doll? Don't
I
you have
I
any
don't
regrets?
um I don't think so. I don't think I'll regret, because the thing is, I think about it. I mean, before I make a decision, I really do think, you know, about it and, think about, down the road and, I do think about things. Um, as far as regrets on buying dolls, there's actually only been a couple of regrets, and the regrets were that I bought the doll and I shouldn't have bought the doll.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah,
a different type of regret.
that's a different type of regret. That there's been a couple dolls that I got, and once I got them, I'm like, oh crap, what did I do? And one of them was the Malaysia Airlines dolls, and that's why I always tell people, and I should have taken my own advice, only buy what you love. And I fell into kind of a trap where several of my friends said, "Oh my God, you have to get this doll, you have to get this doll," and I bought her,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, I I was like 3 days later, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot deal with this doll. It was so bad, I actually turned her box around on the shelf so I didn't even have to look at her. Um,
But
and so,
that's not a regret at all. You can always sell the doll.
well, the thing was, no, I couldn't. It took me 3 years to sell that doll, and I actually had to sell it for less than what I paid for it. So I was like, oh crap. Um, there was another doll that came out, and it was an anniversary doll for Spain, and it was in this big red poofy dress. It was short in the front and long in the back, and it was a designer. I want to say it was in the late '80s, and it was from
I
Spain. It
don't
was a
remember
tenth
this
or
doll.
it was a 10th or 5th anniversary doll, and I loved. I thought, oh, she's fabulous. And I took her out of the box because the dress was this big poofy, fabulousness. And that doll was so cheap. That doll was so cheap and tacky. The, the dress was not that great. And I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do now? Luckily on that, um, I actually got my money back. The person who I sold it to wanted it, even though I had deboxed it. Um, I didn't do anything to it. I just deboxed it. Um, and they were looking for one that had been deboxed because they felt, this is really funny. They felt guilty about buying one and deboxing it, but they bought mine. But um, there's been just a couple dolls I bought that I regretted buying but as far as like the MoMA doll, no, I didn't. I don't have any regrets. It's a beautiful doll. Um, and who knows? Maybe the next one will be even more fabulous than this one. You know,
Yeah,
from
and like a completist I am, I will be regretting not getting the first one if I
yeah,
didn't brought it to my
right,
collection.
right. And then sometimes also series, um, as you know, go go up and down. Like the design by style doll. The first one is fabulous. In the red and the
Design by style by
style.
design, you mean?
Yeah, yes, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, yes, yes. The
Okay,
first one in
okay,
the
I got it.
orange and pink, fabulous. Um, the second one, not so fabulous.
Terrible.
Um, the third one,
I know,
mod.
I know. I'm a little bit
You know,
picky with
yeah,
Carlisle's
picky.
doll. So
Yeah. Um,
take my
the
word with
third
a little
one,
bit of salt.
right. Um, the mod one. I love mod stuff. That is my weakness. That is my weakness. The mod dolls and or mod style. And then this new one by Linda, you know, is like, oh, let me tell you, I I struggled on that one. That was a struggle to,
But
you know,
I think this collection don't suffer that of this type of stuff, like hooking you up and then going down the hill, because it was made by several
uh,
designers, and every
yes,
designer tried to imprint his own signature into the doll.
yes,
I just
yes,
think that the doll maybe didn't deliver because of Linda, not because the collection is falling apart.
right. I don't think it's. failure at any I and what I really do like is the dolls are varied, because like you said, the designers are putting their own stamp on their look, So I do like that they're varied, But we'll see, you know. Did you get the Linda doll?
No, no, no. I didn't get any of the Style by Design dolls.
Oh, you did not.
Even
Okay.
though, even though I think that I may regret not getting the Bill Greening
Uh-huh.
version. But if I got the Bill Greening, then I would, as a completist, I would have to buy all the dolls, and that's not a collection that I think that fits with my collection right now.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, because I know you're a completist. I know that you said that before. So
Yeah,
yes. Yes.
yes, that's why I'm actually um, cheering for the Dia de Muertos dolls to be dead. I can't I can't keep buying these dolls anymore. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm
Well,
sorry, Javi.
is there like what? Is there 15 or 16 of them?
There's a bunch of them. I don't even
Okay.
count them anymore.
So
Unfortunately, they
and
keep producing.
yeah. Well, and the thing I worry about those is that um they're going to fizzle out. And I worry about we talked about hooking you in, and then
Yeah,
I worry about those fizzling out, and being, at the Mattel Company store, or, Mattel Creations, when they don't sell anymore, when they're not. So it's always great to go out on top, you know, if you're gonna,
yeah, yeah.
go
I
out on
totally
top.
agree with
So
you.
um I hope that they do, because I know there's a big, it's not my style. I can appreciate the effort. I can appreciate the cultural references. Um but I really hope they go out on top and leave those people that are collecting them with like a final doll that is just like so over the top, with, maybe her and some, I don't know, I'm gonna pretend like, some dancing skeletons on each side of the box, or something. I hope they go out on top, you know.
Yeah, what I fear the most is that they keep this collection like holiday dolls that they launch every year for 30 years because I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Hmm.
uh, anyway, Michael,
Yes.
you're not a completist, but I there's something that have been inside my mind for a couple of shows, and I
Sure.
didn't have the chance to ask you. Is there any
Sure.
prototype that comes in boxes? Because you told from what I get, the
Uh-huh.
U.S. collectors they value the box a lot.
Right.
How
Yes.
about you? Your
So
prototypes, do
do
they come in boxes as well? Is there any prototype dolls
some
that comes
do.
in?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Some
really?
do.
I didn't
Yes.
know
Yes.
that.
Um I have several. One of them is one of my favorite ones, and I'll have to get it out. It is when, oh, this is a long story, but when they were going to introduce Barbie's cousin, and her name was Mandy, and then they
Mandy?
decided to change Mandy, and then they decided to change it to Nikki. They decided to do they were going to change it to Nikki, and I have a hand painted Nikki prototype. And what's really fabulous about it is, and by the way, Nikki then became Teen Skipper, and they made one of Teen Skipper's friend Nikki. Okay, but anyway, I have a hand painted prototype Teen Nikki in a completely hand painted. I'm sorry, she's completely hand painted in a completely handmade, hand cut out box. The
Oh,
entire box
really?
is hand cut and hand painted. And so, which I was like, oh my God, that's fabulous. And then five, about 5 or 6 years ago, I got a prototype of the teen skipper. She is in a completely handmade, hand cut out box, which
Yeah,
is different
because
than
I
what we ended up getting. Her box, Teen Skipper's box, is
it's
different than what we ended up
it's
getting.
different. So you
Yes.
have an exclusive box. But I saw a couple of months before some box of um, the ready one, the Kyle Minogue doll. I saw a box, and there was this just type of card paper doll that was inside the
Yes.
box. So I thought that they were just doing this type of stuff. I didn't know they actually put hand painted
Well,
doll inside the box.
let me tell you a really funny story. We go to Toy Fair one year, and there is a bunch of doll boxes, handmade boxes and stuff, and they have a full size photograph of the doll in the box, which was very strange because usually we would see stuff with a box or whatever. But here's the really funny part. Um, I don't know if you had it there in Brazil, but in America it was Princess Tenko and she was a
Princess
magician,
Senko. I
Princess
don't know.
Tenko, and she was a magician. So we go to Toy Fair and we see the box of Princess Tenko. She's an 11 and a half inch doll. Okay.
She's not a Barbie or a Mattel doll.
She is a
Is that
Mattel doll.
right?
No, no, she's a Mattel doll. So we see
Okay.
her in the box, the cardboard cutout of Princess Tenko. She's Barbie sized. Okay. Fast forward, they turned her into a 6-inch doll instead.
Oh, that's
Yes.
sad.
It's sad. But I have the Princess Tenko that was photographed in the box. That's 11 and a half inches.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But is it a
No,
cardboard or it's an actual 3D doll?
no, I have the doll, the actual doll that they took the
Oh,
picture
that's
of and they put it
interesting.
in the box as a cardboard
Was
paper
she
doll.
supposed to be launched as Barbie?
She was it wasn't launched as Barbie, but it was like a there was a whole cartoon series here in America. Princess
No, no,
Princess
no.
Tenko.
Was at first was she supposed to be launched as Barbie?
No, she was just Barbie sized. She wasn't launched as
Okay,
she was just they were using the Barbie body. And in fact they used the Kira head mold, which is the uh you know, Asian
Asian.
head mold, you know. But anyway, at the time, Kira had been around. But no, they used the existing Asian head mold and they painted her up and everything. But anyway, it was really funny seeing that doll in the cardboard box with the cardboard. There was a bunch of dolls that year at Toy Fair that were these empty boxes with these cardboard dolls in it. But then they ended up changing her size. I do have one of those. I do have a 6-inch Princess Tenko to put with the prototypes of her. Um, but yeah, they do use they will make, some for presentation purposes. Yeah, they will do prototype dolls and they will put them in boxes. A lot of times they don't, but yeah, there are out there. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. And I think that is really interesting how you US guys value the box so much because uh, you pay a lot less in the dolls that we pay here in South America. The dolls
Right.
are really, really expensive here in Brazil. And the collectors, actually, most of them don't keep the dolls in the boxes. And one of the reasons is the reason why I decided to take my dolls out of the boxes.
Uh-huh.
What I think is someday I will not be here. And the dolls will end up with children, maybe, and or other collectors. Someone will take this doll out the box. Someone will. And I'd rather
Right.
it be me
Right.
than anyone else.
Well, back in the day when I collected, regular mass-produced things, I took everything out of the box because I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to, you know,
Yeah.
fix the hair,
I
make
want to
sure the
feel the
outfit looked
fabric.
right. Yeah, feel the fabric, fluff the fabric if I had to. And I remember in my Barbie club, it was kind of split half and half against these people, which were like, oh, no, don't, you can't debox anything, and other people, they're like, but these dolls are to make me happy, not make my relatives happy once I'm gone. So
Yeah,
I,
I
I
don't
do
intend
believe
to
in
sell any
deboxing.
doll.
Yeah, I do believe in deboxing things. Certain things, maybe not, because they're so beautifully
I totally
displayed.
agree.
Um, and I'll give you an
Yeah,
example because you love her. Um, that Karl Lagerfeld Barbie, that box is amazing.
it's amazing. She
You know,
shouldn't ever be taken out of the box. The
right?
Mark Ryden dolls, there are some dolls that are elevated by the box. In these
Uh-huh.
cases, I keep the doll in the box. I don't take
Yeah.
all of my dolls out of the box. The Mama doll, I will keep her in the box.
Yes, I would because it's going to be displayed in the box so well with the hair out to the side and everything like that, and
Yeah,
so yeah, I would keep it. And there were certain things I did keep in the box that were like, super special, but 99% of the stuff I ripped that stuff out of the box. I can remember one of my friends laughing at me because we were coming back from Toys R Us and I was unboxing that doll while they were driving the car. I was, unboxing
oh
that
my
thing.
God. Let me take that out of the
We
box.
take her out. So let me see how she works, and stuff like that. So, but no, I believe in boxing. Make yourself happy,
Yeah,
fix the
you
hair
only
if the
live
hair's a little
once.
weird, you know,
Uh,
you know,
it's not an investment in terms of money. It's investment in terms of happiness. So be happy. Take your doll, enjoy it, play with it if you want, display it if you want. So I believe that certain collectors, I don't know if it's because they have passed through difficult times, but some collectors have this hard time taking the dolls out of the boxes.
yeah, yeah. I don't. Back in the day, I did not, uh, there's been several dolls that I have bought, um, in the past, in the recent past, that that girl was out of the box. One of them was I did a photo one day. It was like the past meets the future, and it was a sample totally hair Barbie, and I had her photographed with the fashionista totally hair Barbie. You know, because it made a great complimentary picture, and stuff
Yeah,
like that. No, girl, she came out of the box. I trimmed the edge of the box because my goal is to have a Barbie Barbie room, and I'm gonna do it and have it be like Barbie's Barbie room. And so I cut out the strips of all the dolls so I could like pretend to put them like in cabinets so it looks like she's got cabinets full of Barbie and stuff like that. But uh
yeah,
yeah,
that's interesting idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a whole bunch of Barbie
At
pictures.
first, I was an box collector, but
Uh-huh.
once I realized that I should enjoy the dolls, that was
Right,
felt like getting out of jail. I was unboxed too, you
right,
know. I felt
right,
free, and
right,
it's an amazing feeling, you know.
right. Well, and I'm looking over your shoulder there. If you had left your share dolls all in their boxes, you wouldn't have enough room to put the other dolls on that shelf.
I wouldn't be able to see my dolls.
Right, right. So that's, it's a room saver. That gives you more Barbie room, So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. Of
you know,
course,
and
and the
and you got
more
to,
Barbies,
you know,
more happiness.
more Barbies, and you got to be creative, trust me, I've been creative with some display things. One of them was really great. We moved into a house. I was a kid. I was Barbie collecting, but um, they had hooks in the ceiling for plants to hanging plants from the ceiling. And I was like, oh my God, I can hang Barbie cases from them. So that's what I did. I hung the Barbie cases from those plant hooks because it did two things. One, it displayed them. Two, they were light enough and they got them up on the off the floor, you know. Um, so I had, more room for stuff. I did have one disastrous display thing happen. Don't ever hang anything over your bed. Um, I had a Barbie catamaran. Um, I don't know if you know what that is. It's
It's like a type of boat, right?
yeah, it's like a boat. Okay, so it was a Barbie catamaran, and it had like a 4 foot high sail on it, and I wanted to display it. So in the top of it has a little hole in the top of the sail, and so I put some heavy duty twine through it and everything, and I got it up in the ceiling, and everything was fine until it fell down out of the ceiling and landed on my crotch at 3 o'clock in the morning and scared the crap out of me. Uh, so I knew, don't do that. Yeah, don't hang anything over your bed. So
You know what? Someday, yeah, a couple shows ago, we talked about these people that walk in and ask us questions that we don't like, and one of the
right.
things you said was, um, some people asked, "Don't you are afraid of some of these dolls trying to kill you?" Now you can say that one of them tried to.
Yeah, it was attempted. Yeah, it was attempted kill. Yeah, so but I was like, oh my God. And like I said, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. It scared the crap out of me, and my voice was
That
high
was the
for
last time you had pee in your bed.
right, 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 right. So now I make sure there's, nothing anywhere near the bed that could fall on top of my head or Howard's head or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
let me ask you a weird
yeah.
question. Do you have like I have a mini Michael. Now, keep in mind it was done like 20 years ago.
A mini me?
Um, a mini me. Yeah. Do you have a mini me?
I brought a couple years ago a doll. It was the Barb jeans can, the Afro-American one. Do you
Yes.
remember it?
Yes.
I brought it so I could make my mini me, but I never actually went through with the beard. So I
Okay.
have this mini me, but it was just a regular Barbie Basics doll.
Right. Oh, okay. Because I wondered if you did or not, because the one I've seen a couple pictures of, and to me, when I see it, it looks like you, is the
Oh, which doll was
fashionista.
it?
It's the
I
fashionista
don't look like
Ken.
a fashionista. I'm a
Yes, you do.
collector, Ken.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I'm
the
kidding.
fashionista Ken, and he is wearing the totally hair Barbie fabric shirt, and
I
he
will look
has
after that because I'm
and he
not
has a
into
goatee
fashionista dolls.
and everything. So, and he's got a
Oh, I,
goatee
I
and
will
it.
look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Um, I made this year, we had the first meeting with collectors here in my city, and
uh-huh.
I went dressed as Alan.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and my doll, this Barbie basic doll, I put it in the same outfit, and I was like, it was my mini me, but without the beard. But I
You
will look in after this fashionista doll. I hope I am. I see this as a compliment. I hope.
yes. Oh, yes, it is. He's adorable. Uh,
I'm
I'll have
kidding.
to
I'm
send
kidding, Michael.
I'll have to send you the picture. I did a doll show, and so a Barbie show, and so I one day in the sales room, I was dressed as the roller skating Ken from the Barbie movie. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So I'll have to send you that. And then right next to me was a big giant. I just use it for promotion. People wanted to buy it, and I wouldn't sell it, but um, it's not. I get it, you could put it on. It's actually a Halloween costume, but it's a Barbie box, and you can get in it and pretend that you're in the
Like the
box.
Barbie move boxes that were
Yes,
around the world in the movie
yes,
theaters.
yes, 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 kind of like that. So, and then um and then of course I also had to buy a pink suit, uh just because I thought I needed a pink suit. So but I'll have to send you those pictures. So
Yeah, I'm actually I have this kind of hoodie
uh-huh.
like the movie one, and I'm actually waiting for the right uh, appointment for me to use it.
Oh, perfect, perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I have a bunch of Barbie shirts, so in fact I talked
yeah.
Howard when we did.
I'm
Oh,
looking for a week for a totally hair Barbie week thing
yeah,
and the shirt dress, but I don't know if I will look great in this short dress.
I think you will. I think
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe one of my testicles will be out, but I don't know.
maybe. Yeah. I think you should do it. But when it was
Let's
so
keep
funny.
away from the testicle things
Yeah, yeah,
these days.
yeah. Trust me. Yeah, yeah. Uh, when we did the Barbie show, I told Howard. I said, I know he was in the sales room with me, and I said, um, I need you to wear this Ken shirt. And so he did. He wore the Ken shirt. It was black with it just said Ken across it, and I was dressed, in the roller skating outfit and everything. So he was a good
Yeah, yeah.
sport.
Junior actually he looks a lot like Woody from the Toy Story franchise, and
Yeah, he
yeah,
does.
maybe someday I will take him as Woody for a convention. I tried to buy tickets for next year's convention, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. It was sold out before I could blink.
I'm still on the waiting list. I'm still on the waiting list, and I check every day. I check my regular email and I check in the junk mail
Where
to make
it
sure.
will be, I think since we're both um, like influencers right now, they should send us tickets for the Barb show.
I think they should. It's I can't wait. I wanted to talk to you about this before because Howard was going to go with me, and he's like, maybe you should just go by yourself because um it is like nonstop fun. Um, I was telling him, we'll be there for several days before and after, so we can do stuff. But I said during the convention, I get up and I'm up and out of the room between 7 and 7:30 in the morning and do not come back to the room till anywhere between 2:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's something that must be amazing. I never have been at a convention, not here in
Yeah,
Brazil, not in another country,
right.
and I maybe I maybe try for the Italian doll convention next
Uh-huh.
year because unfortunately the USA convention
Well,
I don't.
they did some funny stuff. The first thing they did was they opened it. It said it was going to be open at noon, and I had friends that got in at 10 minutes till 12 that they opened it and they let them get in and get
Yeah,
their stuff at 10 minutes till 12,
yeah, and
which
and
right.
they put the everyone that was in the last convention. They are up front with the
Right.
the tickets. So I don't see how us that are not uh, that were not in the past conventions can ever
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
chance. You know?
Well, the thing is they let in, some of those people, but then there's enough, they still should have enough room, for other people to still get in. But the way they did this, they they opened it early so people could get in there at 10 minutes before everybody else did. And then the other thing is, it said I was on a waiting list. I'm like, okay, fine. And so I was waiting for a confirmation to say I was on the waiting list. Nothing, nothing. I thought that's weird. And so I went
They
back
should
in.
double the space.
Yeah. So I went back in six hours later and I'm looking, wait list, go all the way down to the bottom. It says submit your request for the wait list. That wasn't even on
Oh,
there. That wasn't even on there when I submitted the wait list. Several of my friends said the same thing happened to them. It was not even on there, and they went and checked hours later, and suddenly it said submit your request to be on the wait list. That pissed me off. I had
yeah.
another friend.
And for me, as a collector from another country, I have to plan it with months or even a year.
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
the convention. And if I'm in the waiting list and they only tell me this, I don't know, in January, I won't be able to attend because
Right.
it's too expensive for me to buy a ticket, to buy uh, the traveling thing. I
The
don't remember the
airline.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that.
Yeah. The
So
plane tickets. Yeah. Yeah. So it's
plane
crazy.
tickets, that's the word.
And one of my friends said, wait till March when people start canceling and you'll probably get in. It's okay. But still, it's November now, so November, December, January, February, March, 5 months from now, you know. Uh,
So
so
I'm afraid that I will die without attending to any US convention.
no, 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 no. I
I'm
do,
being dramatic, I know.
I do have a hotel room at the
For the
convention.
convention? Yeah,
Yes.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we
I
sneak
had
it
a
in?
friend I had a friend of mine book 2 rooms. So that's how I got a room at the convention. Yeah.
But
So
how can you attend at the show? Can you go into the show without a
um
ticket?
they're gonna have, well, the Saturday it's open to the public. Um the the doll show, the Barbie show is open to the public on Saturday. But but I can still be there. I can still room shop
Yeah,
Monday,
but you can't attend
Tuesday.
with the other collectors into the Barbie related stuff with the designers and the show and the meetings. You don't have.
No, you don't get to. But the other thing is, I know when I was at the convention one year, I had registered. I was already in the convention and I registered, and they gave you till I think it was noon on Wednesday. And if you did not check in, they gave away your spot. And there were people literally in line with their suitcases waiting to get in. They had actually flown in with all their luggage and everything like that. And let me tell you, noon hit and they started pulling those people up and they're like, okay, here you go, here you go. And they let them in
Yeah, but
because people
yeah, yeah.
up.
But
I mean, that would scare me a
being
little bit.
Brazil, I can't do that. I
No,
can't
no, I
take
understand.
a plane and go to the West just
Right,
waiting for me to
right,
maybe get a ticket or
right.
a
Oh, no,
spot.
no, that's a totally different thing. Yeah, I can totally understand that. Uh, but the thing is, room shopping is half the fun, is more than half the fun is room shopping because you would be amazed at the stuff. Because see, here's the deal is on Wednesday night, they have their first they have their first event, which is like a meet and greet, kind of thing. But Wednesday night is the last night that room sales are to be done. Here's the deal on that. A lot of those people doing room sales, they couldn't get tables in the sales room. And let
Yeah,
me tell you, they are ready to bargain like you would not believe. They are ready to
I
bargain.
believe in you
They don't want to
because
take
I
all that
saw
home.
in with Azusa doll. I saw her
Uh-huh.
selling stuff on
Yes.
her channel, and oh my god, it's amazing. You don't
Oh
have
my
to
God.
buy in. It's
Right.
amazing. But I think that maybe next year, if I don't get to go to the US convention, maybe I go to the Portugal convention or Madrid convention in Spain or some other
Uh-huh.
convention. I don't speak Spanish so well, but I can understand really well the
Right.
Spanish spoken. It's similar to Brazilian Portuguese, and I can understand really well. And also the Italian convention, I think that I can manage myself to understand what the people are saying. Siri, shut up.
Um, well, the other convention that looks like a lot of fun is the Mexico convention.
Yeah, but that's the other convention that sold out really quickly,
Uh-huh.
and they have
Yeah.
two conventions.
Oh, do they have two? I thought they just had the one Mexico convention.
No, no, they have actually there were two groups. They split out and they made uh, two conventions apart, and
Okay.
both of them are really disputed.
Okay. All right.
We don't have any conventions Mexico above. We don't
Right.
have Chile, Argentina, Colombia, any other country.
Right.
I don't know if you know that, but here in Brazil,
Uh-huh.
we were Mattel paid for the convention.
Yeah.
They guarantee actually 200 grant in money for the
Okay.
Brazilian convention. In every other country in the world, the collectors themselves they pay for the convention. Here in
Right.
Brazil, Mattel was paying for the convention, but uh, when the CEO, when
Uh-huh.
Mattel changed the CEO, they cut it out, and the Brazilian convention went downhill, and we don't have conventions anymore,
Oh no.
unfortunately.
No. Well, and it's also very interesting how these different countries where Mattel is, it's a totally different thing. It's not Mattel USA, it's, Mattel Brazil, Mattel Germany, Mattel France, it's very interesting how um they are not on the same page as Mattel US, which I think is actually better because they do a better job providing things and, you know, no, they don't. No.
No, they don't.
Okay.
Here in Brazil, they just value these influencers that are these kids with this. Oh, I know how to tend Barbie hair. I know how to tend Barbie head. I
Right.
love made to move bodies. And
Okay.
they only value this type of collectors. And we don't have conventions anymore. And they go after you. They are so toxic in Brazil as they are in the USA.
Right. Okay. See, when I don't know if you remember, well, sure you do, but when that Barbie Girl song came out by Aqua, that
Yeah,
Mattel Europe's like, hey, okay, whatever. You know, they didn't do it, and suddenly Mattel USA went nuts, about that. And what was really
yeah.
funny was they settled,
But I
and then they started
understand then.
they settled, and then
I
they
can
started
beg of
using
my the song, yeah, but I can understand why Mattel was so worried about this because I can beg on my knees,
right.
girl.
Well, the thing is,
I'm a blonde bimbo girl.
yeah, I'm a blonde single, yeah. But the thing that I found really interesting was Mattel lost the lawsuit against them, and then Mattel did a deal with them to use the song
Yeah,
themselves. I thought that
yeah,
was very
like they did
interesting.
with Build Lily.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I just found it very interesting that they were fighting,
If you
fighting, and
can
then when
beat
they
them, join
they
them.
couldn't win, they couldn't win, so they found another way to, get some money off it, so it's
Yeah,
very
if you can
interesting.
beat them, join them.
Yeah. And the thing is, back in the day, and even until a few years ago, Mattel was so guarded with Barbie and her image and everything. And now they've kind of freed up some of it. Not a whole lot, but they've definitely freed up some of their stuff, you know, because
It's different
it,
times.
it's different times, and it kind of made them look like a bunch of little old ladies, uh, getting horrified by, bad
If they
things.
don't care about the quality of the doll, if they don't care if Barbie is wearing a sack of potato dress,
Right.
I don't think they will manage to get worried about what people say about Barbie.
No, I don't. Well, I can remember back in the day, um, they said they would, with that Wicked Witch, when they did the first Wizard of Oz dolls back in the 90s, and Jill Barad said, we will never do a green Barbie.
Do a
We will
green
never,
doll.
you know, and, here it is, she leaves and everything, and suddenly we get a green doll. Um,
I
you know,
wonder what Jubara think about Barbie these days. I can see her going into the supermarket and going to the bar shelves and looking at the things and getting itchies.
Yeah. I think um I think she's probably horrified at some of the stuff, because the thing is when she was
She
there,
was
stuff was
toxic,
such
but I like her a lot.
she was such, the thing is she was such a brand ambassador, I mean from, you know,
She
perfect
loved Barbie.
she loved Barbie, perfect hair, perfect makeup, suits, pink suits that Barbie would wear. I don't know if I told you this or not, but the Escada Barbie. Are you familiar with the
Yeah,
Escada Barbie? Okay.
yeah, I know the
Um,
pink and black Barbie
right. Um,
with the
that
pinky
doll,
and black dress.
yeah, yeah. Um, that doll was done. I'm like, what a way to suck up to your boss. That doll was done to look like Jill because Jill wore that dress to a party and
Really?
brought in pictures. This is what I understand. Brought in pictures, and the next thing you knew, here comes this Escada Barbie, and it was modeled after her because she had worn that dress to a party. And
And that's interesting.
what's really kind of fun, I'll have to show it to you sometime. I have a hand painted prototype doll that looks very much like Jill Barad with the brown eyes and the brown hair with pale blonde streaks in it. And I have her wearing that Escada dress. But yeah, that doll was to, uh, Jill
Uh,
had worn that dress. And so,
She was worried most with Barbie than with the employees. And that's really passion. For us collectors,
yeah,
she did an amazing work with Barbie.
she
Hey
did.
girls.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the We Girls campaign. She was an
yeah.
amazing CEO.
Oh, yeah. And then,
Don't
yeah,
this crap CEO we have these days.
right. And
She was Barbie herself. She
she
treated
was.
Barbie like she treated herself.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was,
that's
yeah,
what we need.
yeah.
And
Um,
what bothers me most about the CEO is she he don't work in long term. I don't think that children today will have this nostalgic feeling about Barbie like we had, because
I,
Barbie it's garbage these days.
yeah,
At
I
least
don't
in the
think so
play line.
unless they do something very soon. I agree with you. I don't think their kids are going to have the same,
Yeah,
feeling,
and
the same.
if they working with the adult collector these days, it's because someday in the past the collectors were passionate about the kids 90 with the playline dolls,
Yeah,
and maybe someday they won't have even the adult collector.
yeah. I don't know. I hope not. I hope they do something to turn it around, you know. I will tell you something really interesting. Um, when Jill got let go, she had this thing called a golden parachute, is what they call it. And she got everything in her office for a dollar, including that Warhol painting. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Is it with her?
Yes. Yes, apparently
I
so.
wonder
And there were,
if she is a Barbie collector.
I don't think so, but from what I understand, she got everything in her office, including one of a kind dolls that were in her office and all that stuff. And I keep waiting for the stuff to show up on eBay, you know, um, eventually, you know, uh,
Eventually, but I don't think she
eventually.
will sell out these things um, until she's dead. They won't be selling these because
Probably
she's
not.
rich. She don't.
She's
She
rich,
won't be
you know.
selling anything on.
Yeah. And
Maybe
she
they
was very
are
nice,
on her
you know.
basement.
Yeah, she was very nice. I met her. In fact, I have a picture with her of it's me
She
and
was a bitch,
Jill.
Michael,
Yeah. Um, let me see. Oh,
but we
me,
love.
Jill, Jean McKenzie, who was the head of worldwide marketing for Mattel, Ruth Handler, and Ken's daughter Samantha. I have a picture of all four of
Oh,
us together. Yeah.
And
So,
Ken was actually gay.
and he's, the thing is,
I
I
always knew
remember,
Ken was gay.
yeah. Well, I remember reading an article back in the 80s, and they interviewed, it was for the 30th anniversary, and they interviewed him and Barbara, and they were very, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Um,
He loved Brazil.
huh?
He loved Brazil. He actually lived in Brazil for a couple
Oh, did
years.
he? Oh, I didn't know that. They were
Yeah.
very hostile about Barbie and Ken and how they, it ruined their lives and all this other stuff. And here's what I find particularly interesting is Barbie came out, I believe, the year that Barbara graduated from high school. So she wasn't in high school and Ken came out and I don't know if I think he was out of high school too, and they just complained and whined about, you know, how Ken and Barbie made their lives miserable. And I'm thinking, you know, Ken and Barbie didn't make your lives miserable, and Barbie, Barbie paid for your first nose job and probably your second nose job. Ken, you had a
And for
lush
the
life.
nose job for her grandchildren.
Right. Um, the thing is, they named a bunch of dolls after um their spouses and children. Stacy, I believe Stacy was Ken's wife's name. Let me see. Todd.
I don't know. Uh, Ken was a socialist. I don't know what's your inclinations in terms of politics,
Uh-huh.
but Ken was a socialist, and he was this kind of I love money, but I
Right.
don't think rich people should exist. He was a little
Right.
bit a hypocrite.
Yeah. Um, I heard some stuff about his political views, um, but I just find it really interesting, um, them, biting the hand that feeds them or biting the hand that fed them. I'm thinking, you know, why are you so upset with Barbie and Ken? This is paying your bills. This is, you
Yeah,
can't tell me that you didn't.
where is your gratitude?
Where's your gratitude? Um, I don't know. I know when I did that one TV appearance, um, Barbara was sitting. She's sitting behind. She was sitting behind. I think I'll have to look. My mom and my stepdad and my aunt and my uncle and my cousin. Barbara was sitting behind them, and then I was on TV with um Joe Blitman, who I've known forever, Sarah Eames, who I've known forever, Kitty Stewart, Bob Mackey, and a lady named Millie from the hair department,
Okay, okay. I'm
and
jealous. Okay. I'm jealous. I
an
know.
Asian lady who had been there since 1963 face painting. So I got to be on that show and everything. And um, what was really funny was I wanted a picture with Ruth Handler, and they wouldn't let me take a picture. Paramount Studios said no, I couldn't have a picture taken. It was against their rules. So when I went to the Barbie Festival in Florida, I um I saw Ruth and I said, "Hi." And she, "Oh, hi, Michael." And she said, "Oh, this is my daughter. This is my granddaughter, Samantha." And I said, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you." And I said, "Could I possibly get a picture with you? Um, I want a picture at the Lisa Gibbons show," but they said no. And she's like, "Well, sure, honey." She goes, "I have to go to the restroom, but I'll be right back." So I said, "Okay." So I'm like, "Oh my God." And so I run back to my table, and my friend Joyce, the woman that died that I posted the memorial to,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, we're in a darkened ballroom. I have these disposable cameras, which are not great cameras. So Ruth comes back, and I said, "I see Barbara," and Barbara remembered me from the Lisa Gibbons show, and I said, "Oh, your mother said I could get a pic. Has she come?" Oh, she's right over there, and she points, and there's Ruth, and I'm like, "Oh my God," she is standing there with Samantha, the granddaughter, Jill Barad, and Gene McKenzie. And so I walk over, I politely walk over. And so I said, uh, hi. And she, oh, Jill, Gene, this is Michael. And we were on the Lisa Gibbons show together. And he wanted a picture, and they would not let me take a picture with him. And so just all of a sudden, my brain just went like in hyper mode. And he wants to get a picture with me. And I turned to them and I said, would you ladies be in the picture with me? And they said, oh, yes, of course. Would you like us to? And I said, oh, yes, please. And so, anyway, I got in the middle, and there's Jill and Jean on one side, and Ruth and Samantha on the other. Once again, horrible dark in ballroom, horrible disposable camera. The Barbie
It don't
guys,
matter.
and everybody was watching out. Joyce took that picture, and it turned out flawless. Perfect lighting, perfect. And then I
And
had it blown up in,
you went
huh?
back to your table and you faced Howard, and then you said, okay, you can bring my coffee because I can die in peace.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even know Howard then, but I was like, what just happened? Like what? And I'm like, oh my God.
I
And
need
so
to see this picture. You need to
now I
send me this picture later.
okay, I've got the little one. The big one is the 20 by 30. I had it blown up in a 20 by 30 picture.
I would make
Well,
the street.
right. Well, it's a really funny story. So now I have to wait till I get home from Florida to get the film developed. So I have no idea, did it work? Did it not work? Did it, well, no, it worked out fine. So I
Yeah, of
get it
course.
blown up.
There wasn't these digital
Yeah.
cameras at the time.
Um, right. So I get it blown up, and Ruth was going to be at a Barbie show. And so I took it and she autographed it for me too. And so, yeah. And so, what was, what was funny was, her people, they wanted to buy the picture. And this gentleman said, we want to buy the picture. And I said, I'm sorry, I can give you a copy, but it's not for sale. This is my personal. And he was very aggressive. And Ruth told him to stop. I had met Elliot too that same day there at that Barbie show. But anyway, Ruth said, quit badgering him. It's not for sale. It's his photograph. Quit bothering him. But anyway, I have this 20 by 30 picture of all of us, and then, Ruth autographed it. So I'll have to dig it out. It's kind of fabulous. Oh,
Okay.
let me see. Wait, I have something really funny to show you. Hold on just one second. Hold on. You're gonna die when you see this. This is hilarious. This is when your friends help you out. Okay. I don't know if you can see this. Okay.
Let me see. I
Can you
believe
see
it's
it?
upside down.
It's upside down. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, it's upside down? Let me see.
I don't know. Yeah, it's upside down. Is this the Mattel headquarters? I don't. I
Yes.
I don't
Oh yeah.
understand the
Okay.
picture because the
Okay.
trees are upside
It's
down,
yeah,
and when
it's
you get
backwards. Yeah, it's
yeah,
backwards. Okay. But hold on, okay.
is it Mattel
Okay.
headquarters in El
Yes. Yes.
Segundo, California?
Yes, in El Segundo. Okay, there's a little black dot. Let me see here on my finger. Hold on. There's a little tiny black dot between the two T's in
Yeah, I
Mattel.
can
I don't
see
know if you
it.
can see it. Okay,
Yeah, I can
that's
see
me. That's me laying on the ground.
it.
Yeah. So I have my best friend. Um, he goes up on the sixth level of the parking structure, and I wanted a picture of me. And so anyway,
That's a good
he's
friend.
like, so right. So we're looking for security because there's security everywhere. And
Everywhere.
so he's on the sixth floor. I'm down on the ground, and he's like, run. And so I ran out there and I laid down flat on the grass, and he took pictures, and he's like, run, security's coming. So I like jump up, and I and
Oh
I got
my
chased by
God, that
I
just
I
must
got
have
chased by
felt amazing.
security. Oh my God,
That's
yeah.
a true
I got
fan of Barbie.
yeah, I got chased by security, but they never caught me. So we we yeah. But that's one of my favorite pictures that I got too. So I just found that the other day. So anyway, but
So that's the type of story that can't die, never, that never can
no,
die.
no. I have a couple other pictures
So,
too that are pretty cool. So
so Michael,
yes,
that was our show. I'm really happy with what we gathered today. We
me
went
too.
a really shit shot to a deep understanding of some Mattel related stuff and Barbie stuff. But
Right.
it was really amazing as always. I'm really happy with what we are building in this
Yes.
channel, and I'm really sure that with that, if we keep diving into this path, we will get the recognition that we deserve.
I think so too.